Yeah, it's actually this year's been the first time in my career because over the years I've always had opportunities to speak as like a top producer in real estate
Yeah.
or entrepreneurship or that side of things. But this is the first time in my life this year where I've had to speak about or be vulnerable on stage, talking about life
I love
experiences
that.
and really opening up. It's just traditionally, especially growing up like in the Portuguese culture, different cultures, like it's everybody kind of has their way of like it's like you're taught not to overshare,
Yeah.
kind of keep your business private to a certain
Yeah.
extent, and so it's being vulnerable. It's a little. Then you also don't want to get emotional. At least for me, I don't want to get too emotional. Like I'm very transparent, and when I talk to people, like you always know where you're at with me. But it's like to stand in front of a room with a ton of people and have
Mm.
to be vulnerable. I've had a few occasions now this year where I've spoken in that capacity, and it was kind of stressful to get through it, but I've noticed
Yeah.
that it's been way more impactful than because I mean when you're helping agents and teaching what you've done and success and
Mm-hmm.
everything, that's powerful and that's helpful, but the reaction of people, how I've spoken, being vulnerable, people coming up to you and saying I needed to hear that or that
Right.
message helped me. Oh my God, and it's people get to know the real you or get to know your character,
Yeah.
and so it's been different, and because of the reaction I've been getting,
Mm.
I'm starting to feel more comfortable. Well, for sure. I mean, and I think not just me, but I think in general,
Mm.
just from what I've studied and everything, is that if you can't release your stresses, your emotions, if you can't let it out there, I mean, like people talk about cortisol and stress and
Yeah.
everything else, I feel like it can really impact your actual physical health.
I
I
agree.
mean, obviously I'm not a doctor, I'm not qualified to really speak to
Yeah.
the impact, but I mean,
Disclaimer.
just from you're right, but just from my experience, yeah, for sure. And not only that, it really stunts your emotional growth.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think that it's like you have all that on hold and that's kind of paused,
Yeah.
and life is going on and everything, but you're never really taking this and developing this or getting to the finish line.
Mm.
So I've had most of my personal growth over the last like 12 years.